I'm back again with the Realme 9 Pro Plus 5G. This time giving you more of a hands-on experience using this device. This beast of a mid-range phone has a very eye-catching photochromatic design, powerhouse processor, and a flagship Sony IMX766 camera. Before we begin, this video will not talk about the camera performance at all. That's because I did a dedicated camera review for this. I tested it during the night and even compared it to a 108 megapixel camera within the same price range. So if you guys want to see camera performance, watch that video first, then come back here. Spoiler alert, this is one of the best low-light cameras on the market right now. The color I have with me is the Sunrise Blue. Right out of the box, the color caught my attention. The design was really eye-catching. It's got a light shift design, meaning that in direct sunlight or when exposed to UV, the color will turn pinkish red. And in the lack of sunlight, it goes back to the Sunrise Blue. The back of the device is made of glass, while the frame is made of plastic. The front is protected by Gorilla Glass 5. It's quite a slim smartphone, coming in at just 7.99 millimeters. At the bottom, we do have the 3.5mm audio jack, which is always nice to see. We also get dual speakers, one facing downwards and one which is built into the speaker grill. We get an optical fingerprint sensor built into the display, which is fairly fast, not the fastest, but it works pretty well. Now, for the display, the Realme 9 Pro Plus has a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display with a maximum of 90 Hz in refresh rate. The display is nice and bright even in outdoor situations. The Realme 9 Pro Plus supports HDR10 and has support for HD streaming on most platforms like YouTube and Netflix. Content and video looks really great pretty much all the time. There's even a video color enhancer feature built in within the display settings that allows you to turn standard SDR content into simulated HDR by widening the color gamut according to Realme. Now, if you're going to be streaming a lot of video content, you'll pretty much end up using a lot of that battery, which is probably one of the strongest points of this device. You get a 4500 mAh battery that can easily last you a day on moderate to high usage. But if you do run out of battery, you get the provided 60-watt super dart charger that gets the phone from 0 to about 80% in just about 30 minutes, which is quite fast. Now for the processor on this, we get the MediaTek Dimensity 920 5G processor with either 6 gigs of RAM or 8 gigs of RAM. So what does that mean for gaming? Well, in Call of Duty Mobile, I was able to get high graphics with a very high frame rate, but if I chose to go for the maximum frame rate, it dropped the graphics down to low. So that's something you keep in mind. But performance-wise, even at the very high frame rate, it felt really good. You also get a dedicated gaming menu if you swipe from the left side to toggle various features and even check on stats like FPS usage and temperature. Speaking of temperature, the phone, even after a while of gaming and using the camera, didn't really heat up that much or reduce performance. That's thanks to the vapor chamber cooling system that this phone does have. So for gaming, it's a great device, definitely recommend it. Now, the Realme 9 Pro Plus is one of the first devices to run Android 12 with Realme UI 3.0. This isn't my favorite UI, I'll be honest, but it's quite fluid and pretty decent, gives you very good customization options. You get stuff like always on display, customization on pretty much every aspect of the UI, edge lighting, and more. Now, this is where I'd usually talk about the camera, but like I said, I've done an in-depth review of the camera separately, so make sure you guys check that video out. But that video doesn't include video performance on this phone, which, to be honest, is the only thing I didn't like on the Realme 9 Pro Plus. For starters, the OIS is pretty much non-existent. It was super shaky in spite of that OIS, and the color vibrance in the 4K mode was ridiculously high. It almost looked very toyish. Even the super steady video mode was shaky. Sharpness in 4K was great, definitely, but the colors were a bit too strong. So for me, that's the one big negative on this phone, the video performance. But apart from that, this is a beast of a mid-range smartphone that has pretty much everything you'd want. A great display, powerful 5G capable chipset, flagship Sony IMX766 sensor, which is great for low-light photography, great battery life, and charging speeds. Definitely a worthy contender in the mid-range battlefield. This has been Umar from ProductNation. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you again in the next video.